Okay, hello. Some quick thoughts. Sort of sort of following up on the last video I posted. Um I'm a bit scatterbrained. Had a great busy day at work. There was a lot of moving parts, but also there were moments where it felt like I wasn't doing anything. Um and I still have that difficulty where I'm always constantly looking for what else I should be doing. Like, I should appear busy. I should find something to do, which I think is a great, you know, um, a great trait to have when you want to get things done and when you want to work efficiently. And it does push you in the right direction to achieve your goals. And at the same time, it can be suffocating and take you out of being present with the people you are working with. At least that's how it's kind of felt for me these past couple of days. And this is my first week here, but at the said job. And yeah, so it's been quite interesting to manage all of that and to navigate that. So yeah. Because I want to be busy and I want to do things and I like doing things. I think I'm figuring out what kind of work I like and what kind of work I don't, because a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is more managerial, and I think that's necessary. There are people who are very organized, who take care of these things, and I can be, but I'm also coming into this as a new person, and so I don't really know what the foundation is that we have, and I can't alter that on my own. I can't just apply my system of organization onto something that is already built. And so figuring out how to navigate that has been pretty interesting. And I've also just realized that I really like doing. Learning by doing, which actually is sort of contradictory to this research paper that we read for work, which was pointing out how lesson plans that lack instructional guidance, that have minimal guidance, are usually not as conducive to children's learning compared to, let's say, lecturing, where you have a concrete procedure, step-by-step solutions, things like that. And so, yes, learning by doing is great, but yeah, I guess in that way it's a little bit contradictory, but also the research paper looked at students who hadn't been exposed to a certain subject, like, for example, math. If they're learning math, they can't, or learning about science or biology, they can't just go ahead and do an experiment and try to figure out the foundational principles of math and science by doing. They got to start from somewhere. They have to build a foundation of knowledge from somewhere. And some kids can, great, who knows how their brain works, but they just can do it, right? And so I guess in that sense, I do see how scaffolding is much more effective. But I guess in this scenario, when it comes to working, and obviously I don't know everything that there is to know about teaching and to know about learning, but I do think that just based on what I have learned throughout my time in high school and now in college, and things that I have learned from in my other experiences working with students, I I can now operate at a level of like exploration and just practice. So yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that. I feel like I've kind of veered off so far past what I wanted to share. Okay, but it's only 5 minutes and great. Talk about not really being present. I feel like I'm just blah blah blah, blabbering. Yeah, the main thing that I wanted to discuss was related to public transport and sort of morality. Again, here she goes again. Because my parents, that's also another topic. Relationships with parents are so interesting, how they develop over time, how you yourself develop over time, and how they develop over the time. If you are lucky to have both parents, my family dynamic is so strange. I guess strange because it doesn't align with the typical mom, dad, happy family kind of idea that people get, but it's family and it's messy and it's a lot. Anyway, my stepdad was lovely enough to try and figure out insurance for one of the cars that we have here. We kind of have like an extra car. It's his, but he's allowing me to drive it around. And so I do have this option to drive around where I can rely on public transport. And I'm kind of having difficulty balancing my commitment to, reducing my carbon footprint and to being sustainable, and also my comfort, because it's very easy to take the public transport in the morning. It's not always reliable, but it's easier to take in the morning. It's just on the way back, it's more of a pain in the butt because you just want to go home. But also, that day that I did take it, I was able to get some reading done. I was able to listen to some music. I was just observing the scenery around me. I got my steps in the morning. I had gone to sleep early because I knew that I had to get up in the morning. I had my breakfast. It actually gave me constraints in the best way so that I could stick to my routine. And so I'm trying to kind of think through this and figure out how I want to go about it, because I do want to have the opportunity to drive around if I need to. But I'm also realizing that perhaps I don't. And perhaps I need to be more committed to resistance in these different kinds of ways, and not fall into this tendency of comfort. And that doesn't just go with, these sustainable efforts, but also with, for example, social media, which I am on and off of. I have an account on social media that it is under the same name. And there I post some writings, which I want to get back into because I've low-key been slacking, and I have 4 in the works in my notes app and on my Google Docs. And I want to be more committed to these things. And I don't know exactly what it's going to take for me to snap out of it and say, hey, these are my projects. These are basically my children. I want to raise them. Oh my God. The term children, mothering, raising. Oh, so much to unpack there. Holy. That'll be another conversation for another time. but there's like, I really don't know what it takes for me to lock in. And I'm figuring that out. And I am really frustrated that it is taking me so long. But I also have to be compassionate and be kind and like understanding, because Carla, sorry, I guess I didn't necessarily come in with the expectation that I was going to be sharing my name, but whatever. If I drop it here and there, oh well. And low-key, that's, if you watch my videos, that's a treat. Because I guess I don't publicize it. I think that's actually another thing that I want to unpack. I don't necessarily know why I don't want my name attached to it. Interesting. Anyway, back to the main thing is I don't really know what it takes for me to really be committed to something, like be so fiercely committed to something. I don't know why I exist in this indecisive mode. I really don't know why. And yeah, I know that I can't change everything immediately. And I just gotta keep trying. I just gotta keep going. And it's really hard. There's, again, so many contradictions. But we just gotta accept them, embrace them, and you know what? Even welcome them into our lives. And I know that a lot of this stuff that I say is so repetitive over and over and over again. And perhaps it's because I'm stuck in this like indecisive loop. But also, I think I recognize things a little bit quicker. I can recognize my flaws. And, you know, having this habit of analyzing my actions and really thinking, you know, like, what is the underlying like fear or thought that pops up. Analyzing my thoughts and okay, pretend I'm making sense. I think that having these moments of just like brain dump is so brings me so much clarity. And even if it doesn't bring me clarity, at least I feel like I talked to somebody. You know what I mean? And I'm just so grateful for you, dear watcher. I really am so grateful because look, two people, that means two people took the time to watch and listen to what I'm saying. If you didn't listen to the whole thing, I don't care. But you left a comment, for example. You left a like. You took time out of your day to do that. And it's amazing. And I appreciate it so much. And like, I don't know. I guess I just want to emphasize that, you know, you're not alone in this journey of life. And I hope that at least there's some comfort that I offer you through this yap session, which really is all that it is. And yeah, I know I always talk about, you know, I want this to evolve and I want this to transform into a different kind of content, and I just hope you have patience. And I have to have patience with myself, and I also have to lock in. And that's really the dichotomy of life, of being patient and being compassionate, and then also locking in, but also we should get rid of work. That's for the next time. Wow. Okay. This is enough. Okay, great. Love y'all. Please drink some water. Please eat. Get some good rest or take a nap. And I'll see y'all very soon.